If you've ever stood in N'Djamena, Chad, just before sunset, you know the world can feel both vast and intimate, all at once. The air softens, dust drifts lazily across the road, and buildings glow with a golden light. Even the unfinished paths seem to hold a certain promise. In Chad, things don't rise overnight. They rise layer by layer, block by block, under the immense heat and pressure of the day. Daniel was a young engineer who loved roads. To him, they were so much more than just asphalt and gravel. They were lifelines, connecting people, bringing opportunity, and carrying hope to villages tucked far away from the bustle of the city. When his company asked him to go to a small, remote village to oversee a new road project, he thought it would be just another assignment. He had no idea it was about to change his entire life. The village was quiet, peaceful, and beautifully remote. But in the rainy season, the thick mud could trap trucks for days, and children sometimes missed weeks of school. Daniel arrived early one morning, walking past newly graded paths, carrying his rolled-up blueprints under his arm. And that's when he saw her. She was at the village well, lowering a bucket with steady, practiced hands. The morning sun painted her face in soft gold. Her name was Amina. Just as he was about to walk past, the rope slipped for a moment. Without thinking, Daniel stepped forward. "Can I help?" he asked. She looked at him with a cautious curiosity. Then, slowly, she nodded. He took the rope and pulled the bucket up, water glimmering as it caught the sunlight. "Thank you," she said, her voice gentle. "You're here for the road." "Yes," he replied. "But I want to understand the village first." That evening, Amina showed him around. Children whispered and giggled as they followed from a distance. Elders watched quietly from shaded porches, their gazes thoughtful. She showed him her childhood home, the small school, the clinic, the marketplace, and the fields that fed their community. Every corner had a story. Every tree had roots that went deeper than any blueprint could ever show. For the first time, Daniel truly realized that roads weren't just lines on a map. They were powerful forces that could profoundly affect lives. Construction began, and at first everyone was excited. The promise of a new connection to the outside world filled the air with hope. But soon, Daniel discovered a devastating problem. The planned route for the road ran straight through Amina's family compound, right through the house she had grown up in. Her mother's walls, her childhood rooms, the memories etched into every corner. They would have to be partially demolished to make way for progress. When he told her, Amina looked at him with wide, shocked eyes. "This road," she whispered, her voice trembling, "it will destroy everything I love." Daniel's heart sank. He hadn't seen this coming, but now that he had, he couldn't possibly ignore it. The mood in the village grew tense. Families started to argue. The excitement was replaced with worry and fear. Daniel knew he had to do more than just build a road. He had to find a way to save her home, to save a piece of the village's heart. He went straight to Ibrahim, a senior engineer at the company, and a man he respected. Together, they approached the local government council. The meetings stretched for days. Voices grew loud. Papers were shuffled across worn wooden tables, and maps were redrawn again and again. "You cannot destroy homes and memories for the sake of convenience," Daniel argued, his voice calm but firm. Ibrahim supported him, adding, "There is another way. We can reroute the road. We can protect these homes. We can preserve the village and still make progress." Finally, after hours of sketches, debates, and patient discussion, the council agreed. The road would be rerouted. Amina's home would remain untouched. Other families' homes would be preserved. The project could finally move forward without erasing the past. The village celebrated. Relief washed over everyone's faces like a cool breeze after a long, hot day. Children laughed and played freely again. The elders nodded in approval. Amina's mother pulled Daniel into a warm embrace. "You didn't just build a road," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "You protected our lives. Amina looked at him, and her eyes shone with gratitude and something more. "You cared," she said softly. "Not just about the road, but about us, about me." "I had to," he said, his voice just as soft. "I couldn't do otherwise." From that moment on, their bond deepened. Family became the foundation of their story. Amina's siblings would playfully tease Daniel, testing his patience with good-natured jokes. Her parents welcomed him into their home, their acceptance quiet but deeply felt. And when Daniel's own family visited from the city, they embraced Amina as one of their own, without a moment's hesitation. The laughter, the shared advice, and the meals they ate together became the mortar binding them, building something far stronger than any asphalt. Weeks later, the road was finished. It was smooth, strong, and carefully routed around the heart of the village. It connected the school, the clinic, the market, and preserved every single memory. Children ran along its clean surface. Elders stepped carefully onto the pavement, testing its firmness with their canes. The entire village celebrated together. Daniel and Amina walked side by side along the new road. "You kept your promise," she said, smiling up at him. "So did you," he replied. "You didn't just build a road," she whispered. "You built trust and love." "I'm building it with you," he said. One evening, Daniel asked Amina to meet him under the old acacia tree, the same place where they had shared tea and conversation when the project first began. But this time, the entire village was waiting in the soft twilight. Her family, his family, the children and the elders, all of them were there, their faces glowing with anticipation. Daniel took her hands. In front of everyone who mattered to them, he knelt. "Amina," he said, his voice clear and steady, "will you marry me? Will you build this life with me, with patience, care, and love, side by side?" Tears of joy streamed down her cheeks. "Yes," she whispered, "yes." The village erupted in a symphony of cheers. Children danced in circles. The elders clapped with delight. Both of their families came together in a wave of hugs and laughter. It was simple. It was perfect. It was exactly them. Years passed. The road became the village's lifeline, just as Daniel had hoped. The school thrived with new teachers and students. The market grew more vibrant every week, and families celebrated life together, their bonds stronger than ever. Daniel and Amina had children of their own. Their daughter Lila would run along the smooth asphalt, her laughter echoing in the air as she learned the same lessons of patience, care, and community that had brought her parents together. Their home was always warm and bustling, filled with stories and joy. The village prospered. Elders spoke of the engineers who had respected their homes, their memories, and their hearts. A new generation of children ran along that road as Daniel and Amina walked together, hand in hand, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. "This," Daniel said softly, pulling her close. "This is what it's all for. Us, the village, the families," Amina replied, leaning her head on his shoulder. Foundations stronger than any concrete, and in the golden glow of that sunset, the village seemed to shine, not just from the sun, but from the love, care, family, and community that held it all together. Sometimes the longest journeys aren't measured in miles. They are measured in patience, in kindness, and in the choices we make for the people we love. Like a well-built road, love must be layered, reinforced, and nurtured. And the strongest paths are ones that truly last, are built, not just with skill, but with courage, care, and family by your side. Daniel and Amina learned that, and their road and their love endured, shining bright through every sunset. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. See you next time.